To our September webinar, Focus on People, Not Paperwork, Bring Together HR Records into a Single Digital Solution. My name is Robin Horner, and I'll be hosting this webinar today. In the GoToWebinar panel is a case study you can download on LGC Hospitality, a national hospitality staffing company, on how they streamline and automated processes across 26 offices, including onboarding over 50,000 applicants per year and issuing W-2 forms for over 24,000 employees. What are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to start off with the persistent problem of paper, digital workflow for humans, becoming an agile leader, and how Docuware can help. Then we're going to go into a live Docuware HR workflow presentation on how Docuware can be utilized in a HR environment. And then we're going to wrap it up with open question and answers. Now for the questions, you can type them into the GoToWebinar question box, and I'll answer them at the end of the session. Everybody is being muted to the volume of people on the call, so if you do have any questions or anything, please type them into the GoToWebinar question box. Also, there is a case study in the GoToWebinar control panel that you can download on the LGC Hospitality Company. So, before we get started, I'd like to take a quick poll to see how you are handling your HR documents now. So I'll give you a minute to select your choice on how you're handling your current HR documents. Okay, thank you for taking the time to take that poll. We'll be conducting another one at the end of the live presentation. But I want to share the results of this poll with you. As I can see from the results that the majority of you are using paper systems only, followed by paper digital systems but no specific software, and the rest of you do not have any official system in place. So as we go through the PowerPoint, we're going to explain a little bit to you about the advantages of becoming an agile leader, and then we'll go into a live product presentation. So, paper is everywhere. Files and information all over the network and local PCs in different applications in different formats. It's annoying, it's messy, and unorganized. It's tedious to file and retrieve. Above all, paper processes are time-consuming, stressful, and risky. Digital documents don't solve the paper problem either. They're just containers, packaging for information. And this gets to the heart of the problem. The real pain is not the large amount of documents in HR. The real pain is the manual processing of each document. We've spent years and untold amounts of money digitizing information. How do we take advantage of that? How do we get past the manual, labor-intensive shuffle? How do we achieve efficient HR document processes once and for all? The answer is simple. HR automation technology. A cloud document management solution is the key software that automates HR processes. Tedious processes become effortless workflow. Time lost becomes time invested. Old costs become new capital. But how do we get there? And what are the benefits achieved along the journey? Let's take a step back and examine the journey to become a digital business leader, from the manual laggard to the agile leader. The manual laggards are still using paper. But as they become more progressive, they realize the hard cost savings of digitized documents. They then see the advantages of managing documents with intelligent indexing and searching, which improves productivity and customer service, and that being paperless is a viable model. With configurable workflow, time efficiency, insight to improve, an agile leader experiences processes automation and touchless workflow and will achieve an optimal knowledge working ratio. Bottom line dollars are invested in top line growth and happier staff. When you start as a manual laggard, you move through the digital progressive to become an agile leader. This is the goal of the modern business. Heck, even inside Docuware, we're getting better at this all the time. So, what's the secret? Well, I can tell you, in our experience, it's definitely not a stack of complex technology. It's not a 3-year roadmap. It's not even a heap of new budgets. Becoming a digital-first agile leader means simply putting the user first. We found that the smartest digital processes meet full potential when they embrace 6 key qualities. Fast for maximizing time savings, effortless to minimize distractions, secure so people don't worry about leaks, reliable so it can be trusted in times of high pressure, repeatable for consistent value, flexible so it can be further optimized. Combine that with always-on cloud access and full mobile complement, and you can move forward on your journey to become an agile leader. In the PwC 2017 HR Technology Survey, it was found that a majority of companies already embrace cloud HR automation technology. About 40% of the 300 plus companies surveyed have core HR applications in the cloud, and more plan to transition. Organizations of all sizes continue to move their HR processes to the cloud at a record pace. 2 years ago, 68% of the organizations had at least one HR process in the cloud. Now that's up to 74%. HR can now be removed from paper pushing and tedious tasks, allowing more time to engage with colleagues and contribute innovative ideas to the organization. And 20% saw a decrease in HR personnel costs due to increased information and innovation. And don't take my word for it. Here's what LGC Hospitality, a national hospitality staffing company, said when they streamlined processes with a cloud document management system. Our onboarding procedure is considerably easier and quicker for both applicants and staff. On a corporate level, we have access to all the documents from each of our 26 locations, smoothing our audit process and improving our efficiency. Docuware has helped us move our business into the modern age and allowed us to better serve our clients. So how does Docuware help you become an agile leader? Seamless integration with your third-party software programs, configurable workflows to drive results, mobile access for remote staff, supports business processes without complexity. It's easy to use, allowing greater productivity and accuracy. Today, we're going to show you just a glimpse of the many uses for Docuware in the HR environment. Because Docuware integrates with all HR programs, you can access and manage all personnel documents from one secure location. Automate applications, resume review, interview scheduling, and applicant scoring. Receive instant email notifications for document approvals. Streamline hiring reviews, salary approvals, annual raises, performance-based increases, and more. Automate retention schedules as soon as an employee leaves. Now I'll show you an introductory demo of Docuware's HR features. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is the Docuware interface. The Docuware interface is web-based, So within your browser, you have multiple components of the Docuware interface. Over here, we have a document tray. When you bring documents into your tray, you are simply going to work on them before you ultimately store them in your file cabinet. You can get documents into the tray by doing a drag and drop from your computer. You can click on the import button, go out and browse for files. You can scan with a digital or network scanner or a desktop attached scanner, or you can use your multifunction device such as your copier. Now, once the documents are in your tray, you can view them before you store them in your filing cabinet. You simply double click on it and they will open up in the viewer. Once they're in the viewer, you have a toolbar available to work with these documents. You can print it, fax it, email it. You can change the view. You can zoom in on specific areas, add stamps for different processes, add notes. So I can add a note here. I can redact information on the document if I want to send information out. Now you can choose the color of the redaction. Generally, I prefer to use white for my redactions. So I can just redact a piece of information on the document, say for example, a secure type of information such as a social security number. You can redact that and then send it out in an email or print it out with that redaction with the information blocked off. You can always turn those redactions off if you'd like to, or you can leave them on and store the document with the redactions. I'm going to go ahead and close this document down. I'm not going to save those redactions. Now, let's say that all 5 of these documents, they're different types, they come from different sources, but they want to be stored as one file. Well, you can hold your control key down on your keyboard and select the files in the order that you want, and then clip them together. Now, once they're clipped together, you want to store them in the file cabinet as one document. So you simply select Store, and we're going to put them in the standard file cabinet. Now, if you have to do some manual indexing, of course, Docuware has numerous ways of automating the indexing, but if you have to do manual indexing, it's simply a matter of highlighting the information on the document. Now, when you come down to a field such as a document type or maybe a department or something like that, we have the ability to use a select list. So you can click on the select list and select an entry, which is predefined. This way, you have consistency in how documents are being categorized. You can go in here and select the number off the document, the order number, or the project number, the date. No matter what format the date is in on the document, Docuware will transpose that to the correct date. Once you have all this information indexed, you can simply click on Store. That document will then be stored in your filing cabinet and available to anybody that has the security rights to see those documents. Now, if you want to go back and find that document, you simply select your search and start typing. It will give you a list of all the documents that contain the information that you typed in after the first 2 characters. So this is the document I just stored, and I just click on Search, and I have 2 of them here. This is the one I just stored. Now, once you have the document open in the viewer, of course, you can do your annotations. You can put your notations on it. But if you want to view the different documents here, so you can see this is a PDF. We'll go to the next one. This is an Excel file. This is a simple text file, a Word document, and finally, a JPEG. So it doesn't matter what type of file you want to store in Docuware. Docuware can store any type of file. And then if you want to see a thumbnail, you can just click on the thumbnail view and see all of the different pages. And if you want to go to a specific page, you can select that page and view it. Now, that's a brief overview of some of the functions that you can do with Docuware. Now what I'd like to do is start an HR process. So we're going to open up the email. We're in the system as the Human Resource Manager, as you can see right here. He has received an email from an applicant that contains a resume. So he can open up the resume right in the email, take a look at it. But ultimately, he wants to store this in Docuware so that it enters a workflow for approvals and inviting the applicant for an interview. So he's going to right mouse click on it right in Outlook, because Docuware is integrated very tightly with Outlook. And he's going to click on Store. He's going to select this employees configuration. When he does that, it's going to open up the Docuware storage dialog and give him the ability to add some additional information about this document. So he wants to add the department. He's going to say this guy's going to work for sales. That's who we're going to have the manager for the interview. And he's going to put in his last name and then his first name. Then he's going to store that. Now, that document is now stored in Docuware, and it has entered a workflow for this particular user. So we'll give it a second here to pop up into our workflow. And the workflow is going to be for him to invite this person for an interview. So here is the document in his workflow. He says, okay, I want to look at this application one more time and invite him in for an interview. So go through, look at the resume. Okay, we're going to invite him for an interview. So we're going to confirm that. And that's going to take that document and move it into another step of the workflow, which is going to be to enter whether they're going to hire the person after the interview or reject. But in the meantime, we have sent an email to the applicant. So if we switch over to our applicant, because we have his email address, he will have received an email saying, we want you to come in for an interview. Just give this a second to load up this user's profile here. So here's the email he just received. You can see in the email it says, please let me know if this is a good time. So he calls him and says, yes, I'm going to be there. And so we go back over to our HR manager, who then has the task of saying, yes, they're going to hire this person, or no, they're going to reject him. And of course, they're going to hire this person. So here he simply selects the choice of hire, and that confirms that the person has been hired. Now, the document is now moved into another workflow, and he has also received an email. The email simply states that he has to forward a form that he has to fill out, a letter of acceptance form that he has to fill out and send to the applicant. So he clicks on the link in the email. It will take him to a Docuware form that he can fill out. So he puts in the applicant's first name, his last name, his email address, job title is going to be regional sales. Department is going to be sales. His annual salary is going to be $60,000. And he is going to start on the 25th. His manager is going to be Mr. Winter, who is the sales manager. And his pay period is going to be bi-monthly. And his first paycheck is going to be on the 29th. So he's going to submit that form. Now, what that has done is simply by submitting that form, it has sent an email to our applicant with this acceptance letter that he has to sign and return. So he sees, here's the acceptance letter in his email. He can see the attachment. He opens the attachment. He can print it out if he doesn't have the technology to sign it, but he can sign it right here in Adobe. Give Adobe a second here. So he's just going to place a signature on the document, and then he's going to put in today's date. He's going to save it. Now, he can't save it back to his email, so he's going to save it on his desktop. And there's the document. He closes the original down. He copies the email address out of the email. And he's going to forward this back to Mr. Stone. And he's going to attach the signed letter. He'll delete the original, and then he sends it. So now he has signed the acceptance letter. And now if we go back over to the HR manager at our company, he has received an email notification from the applicant with the acceptance letter. So he can open it up, he can take a look at it and just make sure that everything is signed properly and everything is there. So now what he's going to do is store that in Docuware. Store employees. Again, he's going to enter the department, which is sales. He's going to enter his name. And he's going to change this to acceptance letter. And he stores it there. And then he goes into his Docuware and says, I have received the form. It is complete. So everything is good. So now the person starts his employment, and we're going to jump through to about a year from now, and he's going to take a vacation. So we go over here, and one more step before we do that. He has received, by submitting that, storing that form and marking that acceptance letter complete, the applicant has received an email with a link to forms that he has to fill out. So he's going to take and copy that email, that link, and he's going to paste it into Docuware or paste it into his web browser. And it will take him right to that form that he has to fill out, which is going to fill out his I-9, his W-4, and his emergency contact information sheet. So he's going to paste that in there, go to that form, and fill it out. And then he just checks that his gender and signs it and submits the form. So now that he's submitted that form, we go back to our HR manager, and he has received that form back, and he's also received an email notification telling him that the form has been submitted. So if we go into his Outlook, and he has a link to the form that he can actually open the link and take a look at the documentation to make sure everything is complete. So here's the first page. The information actually goes on the fourth page of the form, and there is all of the information that was just entered, and everything looks good. So he's going to select the information. This gentleman is working in sales. He is going to start on the 25th, and he's going to get 10 days vacation. He's going to confirm that, and the document has been submitted. Now, let's go back and jump forward about a year, and Mr. Strom has been working with the company for a year, and he's going to take a vacation. So he goes into his company website. He goes to Forms, Vacation Request, enters his last name, enters the first day of his vacation, which is going to be the 3rd of 2018, and the last day is going to be the 7th of 2018. Submits the form. He is done. That form is automatically routed to his manager. And his manager has received an email notification telling him that one of his employees has requested a vacation. So he clicks on he opens the email. He clicks on the link in here to see what the form looks like. There's the form. Here's the dates of the form. He's going to click on confirm. And that will automatically trigger an email to the HR manager to record this in their system. Vacation request has been approved by the manager. He clicks on the vacation request document. There's the vacation request. He can see the manager's approval. He sees that he's taken 4 days. He confirms, and he is done. Now what's happened, just for one last step, is the actual employee has received an email indicating that it is okay to take the vacation. So here is, there you go. So he's received approval for his vacation and everything is done. Now at any time, if the HR manager wants to see all of the documentation for this particular applicant, he can go into Docuware and quickly do a search in Docuware on this employee's name. So he goes in here and does a search in the HR cabinet, and he's going to enter Strom as the last name. And he just wants to see all of the documents for this particular user, and here are all of the documents that have been put in. Here is the W-4 that was filled out by the form by the applicant. You can see all the information is correct there. Here is his emergency contact information and his I-9, and then all of the other pieces of documentation that have been put into the system throughout the entire process. With one quick search, you can find all that information. So what I'd like to do now is simply take another poll to find out what interests you most about Docuware HR features. And for this one, you can select multiple entries. So I'll give you a minute to select your choices. Okay, I'll answer these questions. I see there's a lot coming in. So let me just finish up the PowerPoint and I'll answer these questions. Okay, I can see from the results of the poll that third-party application integration is the most important, followed by email notifications and management of complex documents, followed by retention schedules. And something I didn't cover in this is just another feature that Docuware has, is the ability to maintain the retention of documents as required by your local law. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap here. What we've covered today. Docuware will improve business processes by making them transparent to your users, increase employee efficiency, and easily integrate with your third-party software with the benefits of removing paper, securing your information with faster accessibility to authorized employees, digitizing key workflows to eliminate bottlenecks in business processes, and centralizing the information. Docuware has found that even within one company or organization, the field of application is very broad. It often starts out in the accounts department, in sales, or in human resources, but it also has many uses in the more technical areas of a business. Once Docuware has been introduced into one department, it soon spreads to other departments until the whole company is using it. This is just an overview of how other companies are using document management. And here are some of the companies using Docuware. And as you can see, they are all different industries and different sizes. So whether you're a small business or a huge international corporation, Docuware can be used by any size company. And Docuware is proud of the over 16,000 companies using our product to help them become an Agile leader. Being available in 16 languages, Docuware is extremely user-friendly for any company in the more than 70 different countries where it is used. Now, I'll give you a minute to type in any questions that come in to mind into the GoToWebinar question box, and I'll start answering these questions. First question is, I'm sorry if I went a little bit too fast. There's a lot of steps in there, but basically we were dealing with the HR manager and the applicant. And then when the applicant did a vacation request, it went to his manager, then it came back to the HR. So we're basically dealing with two people there. Docuware can validate the amount of days left if an employee submits a vacation for a period of time and he does not have enough days left for that vacation request. Docuware is set up to automatically reject his request and send an email back to him saying that you do not have enough days to take your time requested. Yes, you can search all of your file cabinets. You do not have to search one specific file cabinet. Docuware does have the ability to search multiple file cabinets if you have rights to them. And you can select as many as you want and search across all cabinets. The vacation request form is part of Docuware. It is configured in the Docuware Forms module, just as the form that was filled out by the employee with his personnel information that completed the I-9, the W-4, and the employee emergency contact information. That's all part of Forms. Those can be configured any way you want to fill out a form or simply submit a document into Docuware. Some documents do require a handwritten signature. In that particular instance, the user would simply print it out, sign it, and scan it back in and attach it to the email and send it back. It really depends upon the type of document. This is something you need to check with your legal department on what your local requirements are for the particular documents you're referring to. Yes, I have done a little bit of a modification to the demo, but the basic HR onboarding process and the vacation request process is part of the regular demo. The modification that I did to it was the acceptance letter. The forms part is definitely all in there. I did not create any additional well, the only form I did was the acceptance letter, but the employee information form, the vacation request, and an expense report is all in there as well. Any other questions? Okay. Please feel free to contact Docuware at contact.us@docuware.com, or you can contact your authorized Docuware dealer that referred you to this webinar, and Docuware or somebody from the authorized dealer will be following up with you within the next few days. Thank you very much for attending the webinar, and no, you cannot export this demo into a cloud system. You would basically have to rebuild it in a cloud system. That would be, that's just not possible. But if you want to contact me sometime next week, because I'll be out the rest of the week, I can help you configure this in your cloud if you want. So, again, thank you very much for attending the webinar this afternoon, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future, and have a great day.